Welcome to the Scandi Shift, the podcast where two expat moms talk honestly about surviving, thriving, and building a happy life in Denmark. I'm Selena.
And I'm Meg. And today we're talking about something I genuinely wish someone had sat me down, maybe you, Selena, and explained to me before we arrived or right when we got here.
I will just remind everybody that we didn't meet until they arrived.
That's true.
Yes, the unwritten rules of Danish vuggestue and børnehave, better known as nursery, and we have a differing opinion, I think, on what børnehave, but we would call it kindergarten probably.
Yeah. I think it's in the States, it's somewhere between kindergarten and pre-K. And because we were just thinking about this before, like the 0 grade is sort of the true kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's whatever your country has right before school is børnehave.
But it's going to be the whole system and hearing it from parents who, let's just say, learned the hard way.
Yes. As we've discussed before, my son has only just been in the Danish system about 8 months now. We moved over in January. And so there's still a lot that's really new for me. And I haven't anniversaried things yet. Like we just came off of the skeleton crew that is summer coverage and like the shifting of that. And then obviously I have a slightly different perspective too, because he's in a school børnehave, so it works a little differently.
Forest børnehave.
Yes, yeah. Forest børnehave. So yeah, there is a lot that I don't know and a lot that I am learning on the fly.
Yeah. And I'm coming at it with 3 kids who've all been through the system from the beginning. Vuggestue, børnehave, school, across the full spectrum, and private, public, mix of everything.
Yeah.
No scope, børnehave. So it's good that you actually have that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I think between us, we probably cover a lot.
Yeah, I think we've checked all the boxes.
Yeah. Exactly. So Meg, what has been your first real nobody warned me about this kind of moment?
I think it would be, it's not school, right? Like the Danish school, like as we say, and I still call it school, which are like, Meg, you're confusing people.
Goodness sake.
That it's not the same structure as any pre-K nursery, anything that I've experienced or that my son had before he moved over to the Danish school. That it is very focused on playing and relationships and literally not focused on anything to do with education. I don't think they sing the alphabet. I mean, he knows the alphabet-ish from me and from before, but they start, I was told in his, because now he's in Storgruppen the last year. This is when they'll start having them sit down for 15 to 20 minutes doing an activity that they did not choose as practice for 0 grade and moving forward. But it's not school. It is all playing all day long.
Yeah, and that's such a good thing to talk about, because I think a lot of parents probably think the same thing and then maybe they don't talk about it because it's that like Danish assimilation, like, everybody else seems fine and happy with this set.
Everything's good with the fact they can't count.
You don't know what you don't know. That's very true in these situations. But when you do know, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. I will just say, I think there is a vast difference between the daycares.
Mm-hmm.
There's differences between private and public.
Yeah.
But for example, my eldest, he was in a public one. They did things like every month they had a theme.
Oh.
So they would have a space theme. And then when they did creative stuff, they would only make creative space stuff.
Oh.
And they've done dinosaurs. Like there's a whole thing. So in that sense, they were more structured than the private one that my 2 youngest are currently in. And I miss that. So I know that it's very cool. You go in and it's like, oh, Mom, I made look at the moon that I made from like paper mache or whatever, And then he'll tell you something really cool about the moon or, a rocket or something. So
I feel like that's good because it is kind of school-like. It's like educational.
Yeah.
I think they do projects. Nothing comes home to me other than beaded jewelry. I could be the next Cartier because of the amount of beaded jewelry that my son has brought home to me. That is the extent of the creative things. But because he's in the school børnehave, he's out in nature all the time.
Yeah.
He knows so much about plants
So maybe it's not that they don't learn. Maybe it's just they learn in a play-based way.
Yes.
And it's not a structure of like, okay, we're going to do a bit of math now.
Yeah.
We're going to do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it is, he will tell me, I guess there's this plant in the dog park that stings you. It's not a nettle, but it's something else. Yeah. And he's like, oh, mama, pespo. It can like, be careful, it'll like sting. He goes, but don't worry. And then he runs off and he comes back with a random leaf in his hand. And he's like, yes, he was like, you can rub yourself with this. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how many parents, but me, anytime my child brings me something random and says, you can do this with it, he's 5. Yeah. I don't believe it. I'm like, oh, can I? Can I? Yeah. Not going to happen.
But I think it's interesting because the shock for me with our eldest, it was more practical, like the wait list.
Yeah. Oh.
Nobody told us that, when you apply for the daycare spot, the start date needs to be 4 to 6 weeks before you actually need it. So you need to build in a buffer because the incurring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1 month. So the incurring is onboarding.
So incurring is onboarding, like the process of like getting them from, okay, now you're here.
Yeah. To not screaming and crying when you leave them at drop off, right? That's the aim. And we just didn't know that. So we ended up with an emergency spot 3 kilometers in the wrong direction from work. It sounds manageable, but when you're doing it every day with a baby and you're biking them there, and then you've gone 3 kilometers the wrong way, it requires more planning and a lot more logistical stuff. And the onboarding is so kid friendly. It's not to take away from that, but you can really mess up timings with your employer, whether you're on maternity or whether you're just relocating and you already had a job signed.
Yeah.
If you don't know that and you're just thinking, okay, so I start on the 1st of September, so I guess we'll just do it a week before.
Yeah.
The child really doesn't adopt or adapt well to vuggestue or børnehave or school. You're going to have a little bit of a shock, and there's going to be some tail between the legs conversations with your manager to be like, hey, I had no idea about this, and I actually need to work heavily reduced hours to make sure I support.
Yeah, like walk us through, like is it you start and they're like, okay, you're going to be here for a couple hours and then you take the kid back and then.
It's less than that actually. I'm trying to remember back to my youngest, but it's really slow the first 3 days. I think the aim is to get them to eat lunch. And then maybe towards the end of the week, they take the first nap.
Okay.
And, when you're not used to them sleeping in strollers, you're a bit like, good luck with that. And then I've never had an issue. All of my kids have just completely assimilated to this way of sleeping. Like,
wait, do they put all the kids in a stroller to sleep?
They have them in these stroller cots. They're actually quite creepy looking. They're like, if you've seen any like horror films with the children in, if you picture like the really old school prams with the big wheels, made out of wood or something, they're like that, but bigger. And they are a bit creepy looking. Yeah, I've thought that before, but there's loads of room in them. Sometimes they're in these inside out rooms. They would call them an vuggestue.
Okay.
So they don't get rained on.
Yeah.
Or they can just be sleeping inside, but often the really small ones. So if you're going into vuggestue, they will go into these stroller type beds
and have them sleep in the
Then they transition them inside in there too. Ready for børnehave. I think they start taking them out.
Do they strap them in?
Yeah, they have like a harness.
Oh.
It sounds really, I'm really it sounds horrible. Like creepy stroller beds with a harness and the kid can't move. But they're harnessed in so they can move a bit.
Yeah, but they can't like roll out or stand.
Yeah, and there's high sides. They're very dark. They have nets that they put over them as well. So yeah, and they have the little duvet and they're lovey or whatever they want. Yeah,
that's actually quite cute.
Right, so I think it is very cute, Tam. I've never been there when they've been putting them to sleep, but when you walk through the little room, it looks cute. But it can be a little bit of a shock for some of these things.
So when my son started, he had no transition because I think he's the forest. So there isn't a way for you to be like, okay, now parent, you come in, 2 hours,
Get
you
on the
drive
bus.
half an hour and then like come and get him. But when he did start at the French school, we had 3 days of a minor transition where it was like first day come until lunch and then it was done. So
I think that's more aligned with like the UK and maybe the US, right? There's very little onboarding.
Yeah, very little. But this concept of you need to have like a month ready to be able to just pick up.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's hard to manage.
The other thing, actually, just on this topic, I often find myself explaining this to newly arrived parents, is the unwritten rule around pickup times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm about.
Right.
Like daycares are technically open until 5 or 5:30, but in practice, almost nobody uses those hours because if you're consistently the last parent, you start feeling this weird social pressure. And your child will feel it because they're often the last and then they're alone and, everybody else has been picked up. And
so Selena can see the face I'm making right now.
Like, nobody except me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, yes.
You must feel it.
No, of course I do, because he is the only child or one of two at almost every time I pick him up. And to say this, like, all right, so his school is a little bit odd because it is in the forest and they come back and they have a location that they hang out at for an hour or so to allow parents to be able to come from work.
Yeah, there's a bit of flexibility.
Yeah. And so there's playing and there's tons of stuff he does. He really likes it there, right? So it's not like he's just sitting there on a stoop and crying and waiting for me to come. So Mondays and Fridays, they have early close so that the school or the børnehave closes at 4:30. And for a long time, I was like, okay, well, I'll just pick up at 4:30. And they like looked at us and you're like, oh, okay, no, all right, not do that. So now I have it on my schedule that on those days, I need to go pick him up at 4. And on the other days when they close at 5, in quotes, I have to pick him up around 4:30, 4:40 at the latest. Yeah. But even then, well, especially in the summer right now, he's the only kid. But in the spring, there is at least 2 other children, but not that much. It was definitely crickets.
And honestly, that's just how life is, right? Have different commitments, different jobs. And I've gone through a phase, especially with my daughter, where she has very much wanted me to pick her up because her 2 closest friends get picked up quite early. She's then without her closest friends. And although she can play with the others, it's not the same. So she finds it a bit more boring then. Yeah. So she's actually requested that. So I've been picking up earlier, but I'm not. I mean, it's not between 3:30 and 4 is when I pick up.
Now, here's the thing, and this is an elephant in the room that I think most people listening are ask is, how do parents do that? The assumption, especially coming from America and being an American, the assumption is just like, does nobody work?
What do these people do for work?
Exactly. What do these people do for work that like they're able to do this? And the not picking up at like 2 or 3, but I think the idea of picking up around 4, most jobs are kind of built into this timeline, right? Yeah. That you are going to pick up.
Leaving at 3:30 is very normal when you have small kids.
Yes. And it's built into the culture here. So it's not something you get in trouble with or looks weird or anything like that. On the most part. Yeah. Now, not everyone's job is the same. Not everyone's company is the same, but most Danish companies have this kind of built in, and that's what it is. And then there are, families who have more flexible schedules who like either work from home, so it's easier to do that, or are on Barcel with another child, or working from home in general.
I agree, but I mean, I have never had a job where I didn't have to log on in the evening. So the trade-off there was, yes, exactly that. And it's not about the hours per se, but it's just the sheer workload cannot be done if I have to leave the office at 3:30. And so it's always go home, take the time off as much as you can whilst the kids are there, and then log on in the evening. That is quite hard. I mean, I obviously preferred when I lived in London and I just worked long hours, and you were like, it's like more focused.
Yeah. And then when you're done, you're done.
Time. Yeah, then I'm done at 6, 7 p.m. You're just done. Yeah, it wouldn't be my ideal, but it's just something that I've always had to do.
Yeah, I agree. But I do see the vast majority of parents are there at bus pickup. Like when the bus comes from the forest,
around from us.
They're like there and they're like, hi. am ready to meet them. And 1 or 2 times I've done it, I was like, oh, this is where everybody is and how they've done it. I just have completely missed the unwritten rule of no. We say we're open till 4:30 or 5, but you better get your butt there when the bus comes at 3:45. Like, oh, got it.
Speaking of the forest børnehave, let's talk about the outdoor culture. Yeah, I think that's another good topic. And especially for parents who come from warmer countries.
Yeah.
This for sure must be a moment of alarm in some families.
Yes. Yeah. So the outside culture is a big thing, right? I mean, you even kind of alluded to it just now about the baby sleeping outside, right? It starts early.
It starts when you put your child on your balcony or outside in the stroller when they're like 3 months old.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is
all they know.
Exactly. This is what is like expected. And with that comes a significant amount of layers of clothing that have words that I don't even know how to say now, right? But being outside for us was, and just outside in general, was a deliberate choice. So my husband had been in a forest børnehave when he was a kid. And so so it was like, let's try this. And our friend who lives a little north of here, her daughter was in a school børnehave. So I was like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it a Danish way. We're going to hardcore double down on the Danish way and throw him in a forest. But that comes with a significant investment in clothing.
Yes, for sure.
Like a lot of clothing.
The gear is like a whole education in and of itself, and it's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap at all. But I've just come to terms with the fact that you're just going to throw in several thousand kroner every two or 3 times a year because they're going to grow out of it, or it's going to be a hot rain versus a cold rain, and they're different rain toy for hot rain and cold rain, right?
There's thermal. Yeah, so it's a lot.
You had to give me a checklist. I was like, Selena, what is this stuff and where do I get it? And by the way, also, what are the best brands? Because just like anything, anywhere, there is a range of prices.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't really pay off to buy the cheap version because it's not going to be as good, or, it doesn't do the trick and you end up buying another one anyway.
Yeah. And you just have to know where to shop and often online rather than going, the worst thing you can do with this stuff is be like, oh shit, we don't have like a rain set. And then you just go into like one of the stores and you just will pay full price.
Yeah.
And then like when you buy ahead, you always can find the deals. So
that's true.
That's what I tried to impart that knowledge to this and this, so you could buy for next year too now.
Exactly. Oh, we did just do the last week. We both went into Meg and Selena was having a sale. So I just kind of saw.
I wish you could see us because we were like, let's just go with an arm across the back and put it into bags. Because it was at the end of the summer sale. 70% off. We were like, oh, hell yes.
I mean, girl math, it was like making money.
Yeah. My husband is listening to this and going, no, that's not how it works, Meg. He's such a good consumer.
Exactly.
Not a good mathematician. But my honest view, after having the 3 kids going through this Danish system, is that honestly, outdoors is where they thrive. In nature, in dirt, as much as it's annoying for the laundry and inconvenience that
you have stand tiles.
Oh, in my hallway, if you walk there with bare feet, at any point, there's always some kind of sand. But if my kids don't go out every day in fresh air for quite a long time,
do they make them wild?
I'm feral, and then I have to deal with that, right? So everybody benefits from them being outside. I think that's really great. And in contrast, when we go to England and it's raining, which in the north of England, just for anyone who's never visited there, it's 98% of the time raining. No one's around. There's not a soul. Like the playgrounds are dead.
Oh, they're all inside.
Nature areas are dead. Everyone's inside. Rain gear, proper rain gear with like pants, obviously gummy stobler, which we call wellies.
Yeah.
All kids have that.
Americans, those are rain boots.
Yeah, rain boots. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not like it doesn't exist, but the rain pants, the full set, that's very Scandinavian, actually.
Oh, and we
can
describe it.
Sad.
If you haven't seen it, when we say rain clothes, we're really saying like, yes, a full rain jacket, but then often a matching rain pant that, depending on their age, is usually like a bib overall style.
Like overall.
Yeah, an overall. So they are covered in protective gear from head to toe.
The pants are actually awesome anyway, just for keeping them clean.
Yeah.
Even if it's not raining, then they can sit, because they all do it when they're young. They sit in the mud and the muddy puddles. Everybody's watched Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
That's fun.
girly grease. Girly grease
Exactly,
here.
yeah. Girly grease.
Girly grease.
And then the outdoor sleeping. Just to wrap this up. I mean, I know it sounds alarming for some parents, and I still get gasps or like, oh, and you're okay with that? And because it's really hard for people, I think, to understand. Because first of all, they think we just put our children outside and then we just go shopping and they just have them like 3 blocks away. It's like, yeah, the baby monitor's on. I can hear them. That's not how it works. But all 3 of mine did it, loved it, slept really well. And one of the things that I loved most is that it gives you peace inside your home, because you're not tiptoeing around going to my other kids, no, he's asleep in the room.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Like, they can just
they can live.
Do, and he's out on the balcony and he's safe and, you know, all of that. So I just think it's something to embrace. And I have come from England. I also slept outside apparently in a stroller in one of those old school prams. And I'm not that old. I just want to say that. We have one of those old school prams. And my mum cannot understand what changed over the course of a generation, because people just don't do it anymore. There's so much fear around it about safety.
I mean, I do think that people are like, children are just going to be snatched.
Yeah, it's like a kid goes missing and it's highly publicized, and then everyone's suspicious of neighbors.
Yeah.
So it's so sad.
Yeah. And I think we come from similar cultures in that. And it's too bad, because being outside, I do think it's really good for their health. And I think it's really good for like they just have a better immune system because they've like toughened up a little bit. I mean, Vikings didn't take over marauding many people because they were, you know, delicate,
fluffy and kept
inside. But yeah, the mess of being outside. I mean, the downside of that is there is a mess, but I've come to terms with it. I just realized that we just need to take the shoes on outside. And every time I forget to do that, I go to put the shoes on the next day, sand, 3 inches of sand in a boot. And I'm like, is there any left in the sandbox?
And the thing is, it's not like a kid goes to put the shoe on and they can feel the sand. So they take the shoe off, and then what do? They
dump it.
They just dump it out. Yeah. They're like, oh, I've got sand in my shoe. Oh, great.
On the floor.
Okay. Oh, great. Now it's not in your shoe, it's on the floor. And then my other kid just walks through it, getting to their shoes. And then we're having a sandpit party.
I mean, I had something almost as insidious in San Francisco. The børnehave that he was at. See, look at me. I said børnehave. Little børnehave that they had wood chips. They had their entire outdoor area was covered in wood chips. And in the parent chat, we would often talk about the amount of wood chips that we've like come home with, or that we've created piles of, and we like, should we collect it and donate it back, because we're slowly depleting the wood chips. And I thought wood chips are really bad, but the sand definitely takes the cake.
Have you, I'm wondering if anyone listening as well, but have you ever had that you change the diaper and there's sand in the diaper?
Oh.
And you're like, how? You've been in like 3 layers of clothing. Are you eating that sand?
Oh my God.
It gets literally everywhere.
Everywhere. It's so fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a strict shoes and rain gear off policy at the door as well. I mean,
that's smart.
We try to uphold, but I mean, it's a part of life, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. If anyone has good how to protect your entryway from all the elements suggestions for us, let us know.
Yeah, no, I could do with that.
So here's a question. They have all these layered gear, right? What about underneath? Do you send them to school in clothes that you actually like care about and like?
No, absolutely not. Again, policy, good clothes, weekends, after daycare, things that we do together.
Yeah. Wait, do they change their clothes when they come home?
No.
Okay.
Only but I would say my daughter, I have 2 boys and a girl. She's in the middle. She's the messiest by far. It's really funny because people don't believe me, because she looks really like a little princess.
She is a little princess. She's so cute.
Yeah, she acts in every other way though. And she's just having so much fun. She's always covered in like sand, mud, food, drinks. I mean, pee, like what you name it, it's on her.
Yeah.
So if we want to go somewhere after daycare straight away, I just bring a full change of clothes. I redo her hair.
Yeah.
If I feel like it requires that. But often if it's a playground, we just go in what they've got on.
I've been known to save things that I bought that I think are really cute for my son. And he'll be like, Mom, I want to wear this. Like, no, it's for vacation. So now that we've come off vacation and I've gotten all the pictures with all the cute things I purchased for the summer, he can wear whatever he wants now. But there are a couple of like sweaters, especially when I found really cute hand knit sweaters that I'm like, no, I don't want you wearing this to Børnehave. Also, because half the time I'll come back and I'm like, honey, where's your, whose pants are those? What pants? He's like, I was in the mud. I was like, okay, so where are your muddy pants? In the forest. And I'm like, okay, so that doesn't help mama get them into a washing machine so you have something later, but okay.
But I wonder, this is probably the same in all daycares across the world. I mean, kids are messy, whether they're inside or outside. If it's inside, it'll be paint and Play-Doh and all of that good stuff, right?
Lots of glue.
Yeah.
Glue.
Okay. So what are the things that you love about Danish daycare?
Well, I'm a little spoiled because I've had this at all schools that my son has been in. But I know that's not common. And it is one of the biggest things I love. And it's the hot meals, right? So the fact that they don't just get lunch, they get like a really nice lunch. So in the forest, so the people realize that there is a house. The kittens aren't just chewing on sticks. There is a little house up there and there's a full kitchen and they have a chef and they send, the little menu of what's going to be cooked every day. There's always one day a week where it's Wobble Day.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, they get to.
They're just trying to embed that Danish culture.
Rye bread will be
served. Will like rye bread.
Exactly. And they get to pick what they put on it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but my son really hates butter. For some reason, unmelted butter. He's like, I don't want it with butter. I don't want smit. No smit. Which, yeah, I don't know how. I also feel that way about mayonnaise. I'm starting to think that he's adopted, but that he's not. That he was switched at birth. Like,
Mama loves some butter.
Exactly. I was like, are you my son? What's going on? Actually, more his father's son. His father loves butter. A Danish, though. There you go. The thicker, the better. Yeah, I love the hot meals and they're really good too. And they do a mixture of vegetarian stuff and non-vegetarian things. They have the classic There's
very much a lot of vegetarian stuff because I wonder if it's like a budgetary thing as well because meat is so extremely expensive.
It's so expensive.
But it's the same in school.
Oh.
They do hot meals, which is also unusual.
Yeah.
And it's once a week. There will be some kind of meat on there.
That makes sense. And they obviously have a lot of like børnehave, right? So the classic things like bolleka, all that. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. So the other thing I do love is, and especially because he is in the SCO, in the forest, is they have an open fire pit.
Oh yeah.
They have an open fire pit that they make. Yeah. So they like do fire pit and they have it at least twice or 3 times a week, and at least once they make popcorn. But I think that's really nice, and it is something that is unusual. It's not something that you get in the States all the time at all, like hot meals and that kind of idea. I do pack snacks for him, like they do like a snack time.
Yeah.
So I do pack that, and
same,
but they are hard, fast rules against no sugar.
Oh yeah, same.
Oh.
It's really fruit. Is the big thing that they ask you to send. And for the school, we also send fruit, but sometimes we also send like a chopped pepper or something.
Yeah.
So the kids really love that.
Yeah.
I do also love the hot food. I was thinking about this when you were talking. I was like, it's not the case in every daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had it where we've had to send one of our kids with a meal packer every day in the public daycare. In the private one, they have the cook. But we are so spoiled with this now, but when she takes 2 to 3 weeks off and they write out, okay, everyone, bring the alpaca, you're like, oh, it's like, it's the hardest thing in the world. But then I remember, like, I have to like pinch myself and be like, this is fortunate. Like, we had to do this every single day for years previously. Now it's only certain weeks throughout the year.
You're like, how dare she go on vacation?
So have a heart. But the one other thing that I love, and we haven't talked about this, is the community that gets created through the work days.
Wait, work day?
Yeah, so a work day in the daycare sense is similar to if you live in apartments and you're part of some association. I'm not talking about Andales. I'm talking about private apartments where you have like a board and then you agree that
we would call them like homeowner associations, like HOAs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you have those, you agree certain days throughout the year where you do a tidy up of the garden, the yard, the basement, all common areas.
Yeah, you come together and do something. Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, different people attend at different times, but it's the same concept in the private daycare.
They have a work day.
They have a work day, and I think we do 2 or 3 a year. And everybody chips in, helping to improve the place. So it can be painting like a picture onto the wall. It can be cleaning out the kitchen cupboards. Of course, the LIPLAS, complete overhaul. So many different things can be done.
So and manual work. So
and it's hard. It's really like grafting, roll your sleeves up. People bring food and coffee and your kids can come. So that's nice.
That's actually really nice.
Confined environment.
And you get to know each other that way and stuff like that.
You do get talking. People bring like some lunch stuff. So I feel like that's a really nice, it can be a bit inconvenient if you can't make it and you feel a bit guilty. But most of the time, at least one of us goes.
Yeah, and make it happen. Yeah, exactly. I do like the idea of that because you do set a community. We don't have that. Again, the forest. But we did have an open day at the beginning of the summer. Out in the forest, and we got to go out there and basically like see what the kids are doing. And we did a snowball, you know, the little wrapped bread on a stick that you then like rest. And that was really nice, but I was surprised at how few parents came. There was only a smattering. So yeah, I got to say hi to like
because they all talk to each other when the bus drops.
I know. I know. I'm constantly complaining about how I don't really know that many people in the school and that I really miss having a community of parents and making friends that way. And Selena's like, well, you don't come to the drop off. Like you leave your kid at some obnoxiously late time. And then, that's why you don't know anyone.
Serves you right. No, I'm only joking. No, actually, there's no judgment from me. Whatever works on the family route. And he seems very happy from what you say. So.
Yes.
But speaking of community then, there's a whole unwritten section of parent rules, right?
Yeah.
The pickup, Aula, all that stuff, right?
Everyone, what's Aula? We have to say what it is. So
I was about to ask you, like, what's been the hardest? I assume it's not Aula.
No, I mean, I find Aula annoying, but Aula is it's not just our school. It's a universal, I think Copenhagen and Frederiksberg schools have adopted this communication system.
Is it not broader than that? Is it not just a Danish thing?
No, because somebody told me that another competing company had lost the bid. It may not be fully in everyone, but I know it's definitely in our area. So basically, it's a communication system between the schools and the parents. And you can also interconnect with the parents and stuff like that. But it is, to be quite honest, it's very clunky and it has a delayed notification. They do send pictures, but they're not every day. I also, this is a personal thing, it's only in Danish and there's no way of changing it. So some of the commands are a little bit confusing. And also no one gave me an intro of like, here's Aula, here's an overview of what the system does.
Oh yeah, there's no onboarding.
There's no onboarding to Aula. It's just like expected that you know. And then of course that's what you do and that's how you get on it. I just found the calendar for the first time like 4 weeks ago. It's like, oh, there's a calendar.
Yeah. It's like Aula is like pretty non-negotiable if your institution, let's say, uses it.
Yeah.
In the private one now, they're real old school. They're like, they take a picture, they print it off and pin it on the board. And now they write in a book, like on certain days. And you get email updates. You don't get the digital tool, but the school and the public daycare, the prior one, that was Aula. So I had a little bit of a flavor of it when my eldest just started school a year ago. But it's like invitations, updates, announcements.
Yeah.
It's a lot of notifications. I know what you mean. Things, sometimes it's hard that we all have a different classification of what we would say is spam.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those things, and you have to kind of decipher, because it's all in Danish, of course, like which is relevant for us and our kids or whatever. But it is nice that it's very accessible and it's easy to find parents' information.
Yes, that's true. There is a benefit to that. And you can learn parents' names because the child's name will be in a bracket. So you could be like, oh, Axel. Okay, so that's so-and-so's dad or whatever. And so that makes it a little bit easier. But everyone complains, like the Danes complain about it. It's not a great connecting community. So I did start a WhatsApp group for the parents. Not all the parents have joined. This has been my other biggest struggle. And it goes back to, for me, community with the parents has been very hard. In the meantime, I also have been told by somebody to not really sweat about it, because once we start in 0 class, that's when it really happens, because then you're with those people for the rest of the 10 years.
I agree. And just thinking about børnehave, like it is a lot of practical stuff. Like from around 4 or 5 years old, they really start making proper friendships. There's like a best friend and, they have like the little groups and they want play dates. That creates like a direct reason, right, to connect with the other parents. The birthday celebrations that we talked about before, the shared ones that you'll run through the daycare. And I think that's a really good one, especially if you can tie birthdays together, then you co-host with another parent. So that I've done that. That works really nice. What about, so now you made me think of something. So what about when you think of our kids, or your own kids, and how it is for them in daycare?
So I think it's been really good, right? He's happy. He really likes it normally. I mean, right now he's upset because his friends aren't there because summer, but
fair enough.
He really likes going there. He loves his pedagogues, especially this one. Shout out to Pernilla. He's in love with you. He keeps asking if he can have a play date with Pernilla. And I was like, nah, that's not going to work out.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not work.
That's because he spends so much time with her. It was like 4 o'clock. Sorry, I'm going to stop now.
No, he's made some friends. I think for us, and I've talked about this before, the biggest reason we moved over to the Danish system was for him to get fluent in Danish, and that we live in Denmark and we wanted to make sure that was happening. And so that has been a big benefit for us. And honestly, he's gotten so much more confident, and now he speaks to everybody and anybody in Danish around. So that's been a benefit. And that's why, and it's been good that they've been working with him and focusing on him. I think the freedom to actually just play has been really, really happy for him, because he really likes to play. He's very creative. And I think being an only child, it's been good to be there, and him being like, he could be quite shy or at least nervous to go up and approach people. So it's been helpful for him in that way and that aspect. And just being a little bit more, well, first of all, he's already being brainwashed into loving FCK, which for people who don't know, that's FCK. That's the Copenhagen football club. And he sings the song, and meanwhile, a kid doesn't even know what it is, but he has been bred into knowing that's who he supports.
Okay, go to the game.
I know, I'll go to a game. But I think in general, I mean, we're really happy. We really love the school. We really do. And we love the forest, and we love what it's given to him. And there's like a quiet confidence that he's kind of gotten. And then the language can't be beat for us.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think for my kids, what I'm most grateful for is they have real friends, real independence, and genuine fun.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me. And it has been instrumental integrating them into like broader Danish society, because they're half Danish, right? But with an English mom. So I was very conscious that we talked about this on previous episodes, that you really want your kids to always feel part.
Yes. To be part of it.
Of Denmark, of the system, everything. So if you're an expat parent and you're worried about putting your kid into Danish daycare, childcare, school system, And especially if you don't have Danish roots, because I think that's obviously a step away.
It'd be nerve-wracking as the non-Danish parent even.
Yeah. I would say this, if you think you are planning to stay longer term, the Danish system will absolutely help them settle and integrate faster.
Yeah.
They will make more long-term connections. They will culturally integrate. The language is a big thing here. They won't fully integrate if they don't have that language.
It's true.
And I guess these things, they just sort of stick around in a way that the international school friendships, they just are a little bit more transient.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's absolutely fine. The international schools are amazing here. But if you really just want your kids to be integrated, I would highly recommend doing it this way.
I agree. We had that discussion, you and I, off podcast. We had
when you had him in the French school.
Yeah, in French school, it's like, what are we doing? And it has been huge because it is about now him being integrated into the larger Danish society. I mean, he goes to football club now and they're all Danish. And he's, in swimming and that's in Danish. And yes, you can find some of these things in English, but all of the stuff that helps make this country an amazing place to have children is also rooted in Danish.
Yeah.
So if they're not comfortable in the language, you don't have to be comfortable, but they need to be comfortable.
We're not comfortable.
We're not comfortable. We just,
we've just gotten comfortable being uncomfortable.
Just hobbling along over here with my Danish. But if you're going to be here long term, your kids have to get integrated, and doing that is the best ways in the school system. And they are welcoming. It's not like it's like, oh, here's the foreigner. They're half foreign kids. They're very welcoming. Yeah. Very welcoming.
So if you are about to start this journey, get on the wait list earlier than you think.
Yes.
Buy the rain gear.
Yes.
All of it.
Oh.
And stop sending them in anything you actually care about.
Yeah. Don't do it. don't, keep those nice sweaters for the weekends.
Download Owla. Talk to other parents.
Go to pickup at the pickup time and become part of the community. Don't do what I do.
But thank you for spending part of your day with us.
Yes. And we'd love to hear your børnehave, vuggestue, daycare stories. Anything that you resisted and then came to love would be fantastic, and what you'd wished you knew from day one.
Yeah. Write to us at thescandishift@gmail.com or find us on Instagram. We read everything.
Selena literally responds. If you say something, she does respond. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. It generally helps others find the show.
Tack for a day.
Tack for a day.